Okay, UFC 260. Let's break that down now. We've got Usman versus Masvidal. We've got Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas. Shevchenko versus Andrade. We got Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman, and we got Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute as a replacement for Jimmy Crute's, a replacement for his initial fight. I can't remember who his initial opponent was going to be, but it's now became Anthony Smith. But let's start off with Usman versus Masvidal 2. Can you say, confidently, do you think this will be a different fight or a different outcome?
Yes and no. Masvidal kept saying 6 days. I had that 6 days, and then I was watching the countdown, and then Usman was saying, he had an inbuilt excuse. So regardless, but then what changed my mind was that Justin Poirier did like a little podcast. I can't remember who, but he said, look, Masvidal was always in fight camp. He was always really in fight mode. He was already in camp. He didn't just get off the couch and go fight Usman. He was already training super, super hard. Now, I understand that to rebuttal on that is that, yes, a fight camp is very, very, very important. Does help them prepare a lot. However, we've seen cases in the past where people have taken fights on very, very short notice and still won against champions. Michael Bisping is a clear example. So
I do have a counter argument.
Yeah, honestly, I want to hear it. But the thing is, I do believe we're going to see a different Masvidal because his skill sets definitely, believe, has 100% improved. But I feel like this 6 days notice thing is just, I don't feel like it's a good enough excuse anymore the way I think about it. You know what I mean?
The 6 days notice, I see less on time to prepare, and it's more so the 6 days notice is talking about the weight cut. He had to cut 30 pounds, essentially maybe 13, 14 kilos, essentially.
Which is a lot,
and that's a lot of weight to cut in 6 days, and that's got to deplete your cardio, which is what we saw. Jorge was getting tired, and it also depletes. You've got to focus more on cutting weight and less on actually training for a specialized opponent like Usman, who's a world caliber fighter. So essentially, when I think of that, I think of, look, Jorge likes to eat. Let's be real. He can get a little bit huge on his times off, right? And that's essentially what happened. Even though he was training very hard, I'm sure he was, but he's eating not the best food. He's obviously in a enormous caloric surplus, and he's putting on a little bit of weight, right? He was 30 pounds over, which means he was around close to 200 pounds, right? That's quite a fair bit for someone I think he's around 5'10", 5'11". Yeah. That's quite a fair bit for a fighter, right? Especially when you're still fighting consistently and fighting very hard, like Dustin said, right? He's obviously eating a lot of food. Did not expect the call, got the call, had to cut in 6 days. And you've got to focus more on cutting weight, which is already depletes your gas tank and everything involved physiologically. But to go in such a horrible caloric deficit and then draining so much fluid out of your body, it's not going to make the best performance, right? Now, what he's now said is, look, I'm already on track. I'm already at 180 pounds. All I have to do is cut 10 pounds, which is my normal amount of weight that I usually have to cut. I'm ready to go. I'm right just above cutting weight. I think he's around 178, 180 pounds now, right? So when it comes to fighting Usman, all he has to do, drop the 10 pounds, boom, like that.
Yeah.
Now, on the other side is Usman. Usman had a broken nose for that fight, right? Make it very difficult to breathe and things like that.
Yeah, I think in Countdown, what's his name, Justin Gage said, "Who broke it? Did I break it?"
Yeah, well, it probably was Justin, to be honest, because he hits like a truck. And he was also his main training partner. But look, there's stuff on both sides. I think it will be a different fight. Usman will be more prepared for a fight against Masvidal over Gilbert Burns, right? Less wrestling based, less jiu-jitsu based, and more striking based. Then we've got Jorge will be able to, actually have a full, well, it's not even really a full, to be honest. It's actually quite late notice as well. It's about 6 to 8 weeks to train for it.
Yeah.
That's not a very long camp. I mean, the longest you want to do is maybe 12.
Yeah.
But that's still a short camp, right, to get ready. But he's much more prepared than 6 days' notice. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. And he's able to cut less weight. And I think that's where you will see a different fight, but I'm not too sure if it will make a different outcome. I think Masvidal will still lose to Usman by decision. I think Usman will ragdoll him. I think he'll take him down. I think he'll strike with him as much as he needs to. Just like before when we were predicting it before, as soon as Usman realizes he can't strike with Masvidal, he will try to take him down. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. Usman tried it, popping out the jab, was successful with the jab, right? But as soon as he found that Masvidal's switch kicks and able to cover distance is too quick for him and not able to trade properly on the feet, he's going to switch. And he's going to switch protocols and he's going to go and try and take him down. I see that game plan not changing. I see both more prepared, more conditioned individuals ready for specialized opponents. But I feel like Usman will still beat Masvidal. I don't think it will be quite a 50-43 again, but I believe he will beat him.
Yeah.
I will believe he will beat him. Look, Masvidal might take it around.
Yeah, well, you got to understand that Usman had 6 days notice as well. That's again another counter argument. I mean, Usman's been on something of a hell of a win streak. He beat Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns was way above Masvidal. So, my money's on Usman.
My money's on Usman by decision. I would definitely see that happening. Yeah. And I just think Usman's conditioning and his wrestling is just so far up there. And I know Jorge's got a gas tank when he does have a specialized camp. But I feel like Usman's size and weight advantage definitely plays a huge factor. The only look, you would think with Usman's body he would slow down in the later rounds, but he doesn't. He gets better.
He's shown to get better because he knocked out Gilbert Burns in one of the
third round.
Third
round with a jab.
Yeah, third round with a jab, and he's very durable.
He's got so many ticks. You can't just be like, but Jorge might have a puncher's chance. I would bet the house on Usman.
Okay.